What's up, YouTube? Hefe coming to you, Captain Awesome's Fish Room. Having a blast in the fish room, guys. Just having a blast, okay? Before I start Q&A Friday, guys, I want to give a quick shout out to my broski, Forrest, Cichlid Man 09, doing big things over there, getting some new fish in. Can't wait to see him, bro. I am stoked. It's like Christmas in my fish room when you get fish, bro. And man, I can't wait. So, guys, make sure y'all stay tuned to his channel. Go sub him up. I mean, you're missing out if you're not subbed to Cichlids Man 09, okay? So go hit that up and let's get Q&A started. First question, in no particular order, guys. Let's see, Karen 1467. Is there a difference on behavior in wild caught and farm raised fish? This is a fantastic question. And I want to start by saying no. There is no difference in behavior between wild caught and farm raised fish or aquarium bred fish. There is no difference in behavior, okay? Now, I say that and some of y'all are probably scratching your heads like, well, my wild caught fish, you know, is real aggressive towards, you know, feeders or something like that. Guys, there's a difference between aggression and predation, okay? Aggression is this right here. That's aggressive. That is aggressive. This is aggressive, if they pay attention. There we go. That's aggression. Now, if I was to throw some feeder guppies that I raised myself, by the way, don't use store-bought feeder fish from PetSmart or Petco. Ugh. I don't want to get started on that. But if you like, if I threw some guppies in here and he just goes buck wild eating them, that's predation. Okay? Now, I will say this, that a wild caught, like Mr. Dovey right here, is going to be more susceptible to eat live fish. Okay? So, there's your it's kind of a difference in behavior. Now, what I mean by that is in the wild, they're used to hunting for food on their own, okay? These fish, dovies in particular, are apex predators, okay? In their habitat, they're among the top of the food chain. Now, when it comes to behavior in fish, they all have their own personality, okay? Y'all saw when Big Rig came around, he was about 10 and a half inches when he started glass banging. Now look at this guy, okay? He's about 5-6 inches, and look at him. See? Different personalities, okay? Every fish has a different personality. All of these jaguars in this tank, all of them will act different. No 2, no 3, no 4 will act the same. Every single one of them is going to act different. You know, they're going to act different according to their environment, how they're fed, all that stuff. But other than that, guys, there is no difference in behavior, okay? Once I get this guy and that guy fully grown up, you know, I'll show you. They'll both glass bang. They'll both be eating the same food. Both of them eat Hikari. This guy's eating the big carny sticks now instead of the Massivore Delight, and he's eating the Massivore Delight instead of Bio Gold. But, you know, and both of them are going to act differently around me, okay? Now, that's their personality. That's not a... that's a difference in behavior, but, you know, it's not whether they're farm-raised or wild caught. That doesn't make a difference, okay? Whenever they grow up, Big Rig, with his genetics, you know, he's an aquarium-bred fish, and he may be more aggressive than my wild caught. My wild caught may be more aggressive than him. My F1 umbies, all of them may be more aggressive than both of my dovi. So it depends on the personality of the fish. You know, all of them have different personalities. So there you go with that. But there is, I mean, there is no difference in behavior. You know, one could be more aggressive than the other, farm raised or wild caught. So, you know. Let's see. Next question. God of Fish Tanks asks, best canister filter for a cichlid tank. Okay. I'll start this one off by saying it depends on the setup and the fish that you're keeping. You know, not all cichlids are the same as I just described. You know, it depends on the species. It depends on the habitat that they're supposed to be in. Like if you're keeping Africans, you may want to keep, you know, I mean, since it's overstocked, you may want to over-filter more than, you know, just keeping a single Dovi in a 100-gallon, you know. You know, I always recommend to over-filter, but in my opinion, the best filter you can get for, you know, 50-gallon or higher is an FX5 by Fluval. The best filter you can buy for a 50-gallon all the way up to, I'd say, a 240. I know it says you can filter up to 400 gallons, but I would never, ever leave a single filter on a 400-gallon tank. I love over-filtering. I recommend over-filtering, and I will suggest over-filtering all day long. Now, with that said, I mean, you know, if you're keeping those little German blue rams, you know, you don't want to blast them all over the place, you know. I mean, like I said, it depends on the species, but some good brands are like, those Renas are good. API just came out with a new one. I think it's called a Nex or something like that. You know, that one looks cool. Fluvals are great. Marine Lands are great. Heard about another one called Sun or something like that. You know, those look cool. They actually have UV sterilizers on them. Let's see. What other? Eheims. Those are good. You know, so, you know, just kind of think about the species of fish that you're keeping, how big they get, what size tank it is. General rule of thumb for most cichlids is to filter the volume of the tank 10 times per hour. So if you have a 100-gallon, you need something with like a 1,000-gallon per hour flow. You know, and you want to look for big media baskets. You want a lot of media for cichlid tanks because they're messy and big. Let's see, next question comes from 209 Aquariums. What is the best substrate that benefits the tank? This is another, you know, kind of setup specific question. If you're keeping fish like I keep, I always recommend that pea gravel, like that stuff right there. You know, it's not sharp. They can dig in it all they want. But if you're keeping Africans, you know, you're going to want to do something maybe with a little crushed coral, or, you know, something that can buffer your pH higher. You know, something like that. If you're keeping like a bunch of bottom feeders, this pea gravel would be fine. Now, if you're keeping a planted tank, you could do this gravel, but the best substrate, in my opinion, you know, would be like, I can't believe the name is, Fluorite, Eco Complete, what else? You can also mix in some clay. You can get that in the garden section. Mix in some clay inside your planted substrate. Get you some root tabs, and, you know, now, there's a lot of buzz about dirted tanks right now. I've never tried that, so I really can't recommend it, you know, but, I mean, it seems like it works. You know, dirted substrate, low light, you know, stuff like, I mean, that seems like it'd be cool. You know, it also depends on your fish. If you have fish that like to dig a lot, you don't really want to use, you know, your bigger stones like that. This wasn't originally for a Dovi. But yeah, and you know, you just take that into consideration. I don't ever recommend large substrates. You can see I have that pea gravel in every single one of my tanks. It's great stuff. Another good substrate for plants or regular, cichlids and stuff like that, would be that substrate that Forrest used, Cichlid Man 09. Go check out his videos, look at his substrate. That's a great substrate. I actually have some right out here. I have 150 pounds. Yeah, 60, 120, 180 pounds of it right there. That'll be inside the new fish room, by the way. That's a great substrate, but kind of depends on what kind of setup you're doing as far as plants, fish, stuff like that. So think about what you want to do first, and then think about your stocking levels, where the fish come from, what the water quality is like, stuff like that. And go about your substrate that way. But as far as planted tanks, I think Eco Complete and Fluorite, even the pea gravel with some clay in there, that's awesome. I've had success with all those. Don't recommend sand. I hate sand. God. Some people love sand, and that's okay. More power to you. I have substrates that I love too, but I hate sand. It gets sucked up in your filter. It gets blown everywhere. I don't like it. Last question. This is going to be a hefty answer, guys. Comes from Steel Skis Aqua World. Has a 4-gallon tank. Wants to make a kind of a nano planted tank. Asking what I recommend as far as plants, filter, CO2, and fish. Okay, 4-gallon tank. You're kind of limited as far as fish, but with plants, you can pretty much keep any kind of plant that you want. I wouldn't do a sword like Amazon swords or those melon swords. Swords in general, they're a nutrient sucking big plant. They get huge, okay? It's not really recommended for a 4-gallon, but you can do mosses, a lotus, rotala, pearlweed, bacopa, baby tears, HC, crypts, any kind of high grow, stargrass, anubias. What else is there? There's a bunch of plants you can do. As far as substrates, if you want to go the cheapest route, get you some pea gravel like that, bro. Get you some pea gravel. I've had success growing plants in that. If you want to spend a little bit of money, get you some Eco Complete. Have success with that. As far as lighting, cheapest route would be a clip light with a grow bulb like that. Or you could do LEDs. Marineland has this little fixture that's I think like 10 to 12 inches long, 5 to 6 inches deep, and it has T5 lights. But of course the bulbs would be kind of hard to find. But that's a good fixture. You could do. I already said LEDs, but as far as a filter, I don't do an internal filter. No sponge, no internal power filter, nothing like that, because you're limited on space and you don't want to take up more of it with an internal filter. You want to keep as much space open as possible, and you can't do that with an internal filter. You can do a DIY filter with like a little setup, like that drawer system right there, drill holes in the bottom of all the drawers, stuff you some media in there, and then put it inside like a 5-gallon bucket, or one of those Tupperware, one of those long glow Tupperware things, or a Zoom Med canister like this right here. This is the model TC30. It's recommended for up to 30 gallons, and it comes with a spray bar and all that fun stuff. You can adjust the level of the intake by cutting the tube. That's a great suggestion. As far as fish, what you want to do when you're thinking about what kind of fish is you want to think about the maximum size being no more than 1 to 1.5 inches. I wouldn't go over that size in that size of tank. And do not do schooling fish. You simply do not have enough room to put a school of any kind of fish in there. A good healthy school is at least 6 fish. Okay, that's a healthy school. But you can do a beta. That's how it's said, not beta, guys. It's beta. Oh, and bitcher. It's not biker or biter, or it's a bitcher. That's how you say that too. You could do some guppies, but only do males because they breed like rabbits. You can do some of those Malamar puffers. They're also called pea puffers. You can pretty much do any kind of shrimp that you want. Stay within the guidelines of the, you know, the 1 to 1.5 inch. I wouldn't do a mono shrimp in that size tank. Maybe like 1 or 2, a mono shrimp would be fine. You know, but some cherries would look cool in there. Some of those black crystal. I don't know. I don't keep shrimp, so as far as snails, you know, assassin, trumpet. You know, I love trumpet snails. They stir up the substrate and keep it aerated. They're awesome. A lot of people hate them though. But yeah. And as far as CO2, you can do one of these DIY CO2s right like this right here. Just get you a little air valve adjuster so you can adjust the flow on it. But I would recommend dosing over an actual DIY CO2, like with some Excel and stuff like that, because you can be more precise, and in that small water volume, you really want to be as precise as possible. You know, so dosing would be your best option. Man, look at that wisteria right there, just going nuts. But yeah, guys, so that was Q&A Friday. Hope y'all learned something. Hope it was helpful. And with that said, have an awesome Friday. Rate, comment, subscribe. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've done. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see y'all next time. Adios.